Well, actually, it saves you money in the end in many other ways because, as they talk about in some of the books, the business books, when you hire somebody, whatever, if you lose that person because they're either not performing or not doing well for your firm, it costs you at least as much as their salary for the year,
Right.
plus the overhead. So if you have a $30,000 designer, it could cost you close to $40,000 in lost revenue and time and efficiency.
Right.
So in the end, it's less expensive to outsource.
Yes. So then you just let the outsourcing firm have to deal with all of the hiring and firing.
So you get the headache.
Yes, exactly. But you know, with the outsourcing, any outsourcing firm that you use, it should be seamless. You know, hopefully you have one kind of account manager or a point person, but that person may move on to something else, but it should, the firm that you're working with should make it seamless so that your work is never affected, and that definitely cannot be said about having staff in-house.
Well, that's very true. Now, you did tell me right before we started that you're thinking about some new programs as well. Can you tell us anything about that yet?
Yes, we are constantly listening to designers, asking them, what do you need in your business? What else would you like to outsource? And we're starting to hear more and more about billing, that really seems to be something that's somewhat of a headache. And so that's a direction that we're moving in creating a billing membership. That's probably the next one that's going to be coming up in the pipeline. And I'd like to think that it'll be around maybe towards the end of 2008.
That's great. Well, that's not very far away.
I know. I think we were just talking about
right before Christmas.
I know, everything just flies by.
It does. It does. What other things would you like to talk about to explain to the designers what you do? Do you have some specific areas that you have been able to make some big inroads for people and help them in a specific way?
Well, since we've started, we've had a couple of really great testimonials, and actually one of the conference attendees for this conference that we're at in Las Vegas is one of our members, and she is one that, as I said, she has hand drafted forever, never used CAD. They've never had anyone in-house using CAD. So for her, it was a big kind of leap of faith. You not only outsourcing, but outsourcing not to someone who's going to hand draft just like she has. And I just thought it was really great. We did a bathroom for her with CAD. It was floor plan, 4 elevations. She just drew a quick sketch, gave us dimensions, and we had it turned around for her in 48 hours. And it was really nice of her to say that you really over-delivered. You know, it greatly exceeded my expectations, and that's exactly what we want to hear.
That's
because we're going to jump through hoops for people.
Well, and I think that's something, too, that once people try this out, and you should try it if you haven't done this, give it a really good look, because this is not what you want to be doing as a designer.
Right.
And I know I myself do not do CAD work. I studied CAD, I know how to do it, but it's not a good use of my time. So I will hand sketch things, and then I redline. And for me, that's the way I should be doing it.
Yeah. And I think you've said before to me, you know how to do the accounting, and it's sort of like I had an accounting minor, or finance minor, whatever I went to school for. And I can do the accounting too, but that's not the best use of my time. I'm not as fast as someone who is a really talented bookkeeper or an accountant, because they're doing it all day long. I mean, for me, sometimes I'll have to think about it and, look something up in one of my old books, and it's just much faster for someone who's trained and does it all the time to take care of that.
I'm trying to think how long I've outsourced accounting, but I would say that's probably at least 15 years for me. And I know I am not the best at balancing the checkbook. And believe it or not, I have a finance degree.
Yeah.
But I know what I'm not good at. I just don't like managing the pennies. So that again is something that you do not want to be doing if you're a good designer.
Right.
Because you really need to be bringing in the business and managing the clients and making sure they're happy, and maybe educating your design staff to be a really good designer and work with clients. So that's where you should be.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add at the end of this?
Well, I think when you mentioned, if you haven't outsourced before, it is really something that you should try. I definitely agree with that, and that it's something that could change your entire business model. And I know that that sounds kind of scary, change your entire business model. But for a lot of people, it's changing it for the better. They're ending up doing more of what they really love to do, and the reason why they became a designer. A lot of our marketing will say, get back to the real reason you became a designer. No one started this so they would be inundated with paperwork and would be playing phone tag with showrooms. They work with clients and design. So it's really something that everyone should look at their business and say, what parts of this could actually be done better, more efficiently, and be done by someone outside of my firm, and make sure that everyone who's in your firm is producing as much revenue as they possibly can.
I think that's a really good point. And quite frankly, like you were talking about, if somebody can mark up the time, then that's the way to go.
Yes.
And usually the rule of thumb is if you're paying someone $25 an hour, then you should mark it up 3 times that number.
Right.
So it should be $75 an hour. And the same thing for your employees. If you are paying them $30 an hour, for instance, then you should be billing them out at $90 an hour.
Right.
And that's how you figure out how you can make money in this business. And if you know those rules, then it simplifies what you're doing. Right. And I'm all for simplicity.
Yes.
It's always a better thing.
Yeah.
So tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
Well, please visit our website. It's www.gibsondesignmanagement.com, very long. And you can take a look at the things that we have on the website, and then contact us. There's our information on the website, and any of us would be happy to talk to you.
That's great. Thank you so much, Alexandra. It was a pleasure
Thank
having you today, and hopefully all of you will get in touch with Alexandra, and you'll find that this will really save you a lot of headaches and hopefully make you a lot more money. Thank you again for visiting, and this is Gail Doby with Design Success University.